Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast again. I'm Hansel here with my bestie Wayne. We wrote a book, which, like this podcast, is also called theCoderBros Go to White Castle. It's a book about our story, how we grew up Asian, how we became best friends, and how we found our White Castle. Only our White Castle wasn't actually a fast food joint, but an awesome little business called theCoderSchool that we now run together. So we started this podcast to explore the stories of other Asian Americans just like us and how they write their own book. And today we have a special guest with us that actually is part of our White Castle. Wayne, who is it?
So our guest today has a BA and a PhD in psychology from the University of California, Berkeley. Go Bears! I have lots of friends and, more importantly, relatives that also are Bears. She has quite the career, ranging from being a professor, teacher, supervisor, school psychologist, consultant, and much, much more. We'll have to get into that. She's also an owner of the best franchise in America, the theCoderSchool. I may be a little biased, but it's pretty much a fact. Just ask her. It's factual. If that's not enough, she's also an amazing chef. She's even led online cooking classes for our circle, at least, and probably even larger than that, but amazing chef. Welcome to the podcast, Lynna Tsou.
What's up,
Thank you.
Lynna?
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So
Yeah.
start us off here and tell us a bit about, I guess just start with what you're doing now.
So I own the Coder School Berkeley with my husband David Chen.
Woohoo!
The
And
best
we've
school, the
T-Gen.
top school in the system, FYI, everybody.
Oh, yay. Yeah, we're rounding out we're starting year number 8. This is going to be our 8th
Whoa.
year at the
Wow.
end of this month in January 2025. And we're super proud of our staff and our how our students have grown so much. We have students who've been with us almost since the day we opened. And
Wow.
we have students who've gone on to major in CS and engineering and math, and they all come back and they tell us how grateful they are for the way we were able to kind of get them started on their coding journey. And some of them even come back and work with us. They're teaching for us as instructors, and I have a number of coaches who live across the country, but whenever they come home from college, they're working with us. So it's such a
Amazing.
Man,
privilege.
8 years. I can still picture the Hansel and I at your grand opening, eating
I
all that
know.
wonderful. You guys had dim sum, right?
Yeah.
But year 8, you
Yeah.
guys have been killing it so well. And then,
Oh,
to the Chinese, year 8, it's going to be your lucky,
You're
even better,
lucky.
yeah.
best year.
Good
It's going to be the
point. Good
best year.
point. Yes. Oh
Absolutely.
my gosh. We're
But
gonna yeah, explode.
that's crazy,
Yeah.
though. 8 years. It
So what
just,
are some of the
Yeah.
other things you're doing besides Coder School? You were telling us
So
before that you had other things. You're kind of a juggler, it sounds like,
yeah,
multitasking.
I've always worn many hats. Even in college, I had like 4 jobs at once, and that's continued through this day. I don't know if it's because I don't want to be bored, but I work for the University of the Pacific. I teach and within their School of Education, they have the Bay Area Teacher Training Institute. So for the past 10 or so years, I've been teaching for them, where I teach teachers in their first year of their teaching credential master's program. I also supervise teachers in their first and second years as classroom teachers. Before that, I taught at St. Mary's College in Moraga. I also work as a consultant, an educational consultant at Ming Charter School, where I helped was a founding family about 14 years ago. It's a Mandarin immersion public charter school in Oakland. We have 3 locations now,
Mm.
and I was part of a
nice.
team of families who started it. I specifically, my area was getting their special education and their mental health programs up and running, because that's my area, and their lunch program, of course, because I think food is really important too.
So what does that mean
So
that you launched with them? Do you like have equity in the school and you get like,
no, no,
Yeah.
it's a
Kind of
public
IPO.
school. It's a public school. So we were all just like,
wow.
building the plane as we were flying it, like interviewing teachers, interviewing principals, and then, opening our doors and, cleaning the classrooms and moving furniture in and figuring out the schedules and figuring out a lunch provider, interviewing,
Did you have
sampling
to
food. And
raise money to build the physical building? Or
so I did not have to do that part. There were a group of founders who had money raised, but David is to this day still involved with their fundraising. He raises um,
David, your husband did.
lots of money. Yeah, David, my husband, raises a ton
Wow.
of money for you, Ming, with another
wow.
team of fantastic parents.
And
Even Jamie
was there
Chen,
a
I think you know.
yep, we know we definitely know Dave. And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
was there a gap in sort of the public or the school system there? Is that what made people decide to found a new school?
So what there was not a public school option for kids who for families who wanted their kids to be able to learn Mandarin.
Ah, it's the
So
Asian
when
angle.
The
so when
Chinese.
Emmett was
Those
when
dang
Emmett was in
Asians.
preschool, when Emmett was born, I decided I wanted him to, if possible, speak Mandarin. My Mandarin is was at a like speaking level, maybe second grade.
I don't think so,
Sorry,
Lena.
speaking
Yeah,
level,
I don't
fourth
think
grade.
so. My
I think
Well,
you are
fourth
probably the
grade.
best Chinese speaker out of all the
And
people I
Yeah.
know.
And it's all
um,
relative, right? I mean, come on.
yeah.
I like to claim at least first grade, so you've got to be college
Okay,
graduates.
maybe
Yeah, come
fourth
on.
grade. But reading and writing wise, I was like first grade. And so I started looking into schools for him, and there were Spanish immersion options. So we enrolled him in a Spanish immersion elementary school for kindergarten, but which I was fine with as long as, I just wanted my kids to be multilingual. And from the time my kids were born, I would speak to them in Mandarin, in my
Yeah.
broken Mandarin, and
Yeah.
mainly because I wanted them not only to be able to communicate with my family, my grandparents at the time, my aunts and uncles, but also, I studied brain development throughout college and graduate school, and I know it's really beneficial for kids to be able to know multiple languages. That's quite common actually in other parts of the world, and not so much here in the US. So one thing I could try to give my kids is some Mandarin.
Yeah.
And so there was the only only Mandarin immersion program at the time were these independent schools. And they're like, at the time, they were like 25, 30,000 a year. But there
Mhm.
was a group of families who had just formed who were looking to start this Mandarin immersion charter school. So then I joined them as a founding family. And then we each took our pieces
Wow.
of our areas of expertise and then
Talk about
opened the school.
impacting the community. That's amazing. And so I guess the biggest question is, so does Emmett actually still speak Mandarin?
He does. All of my
Does
Does?
kids
he?
do. Not
Really?
as well as I would like, but they can
They actually will speak
definitely.
to you in Mandarin and then they won't like
So
translate back to English?
so when Emmett reached middle school, my level of Mandarin got to the point where I was only able to say like just basic things like, are you getting ready for bed? Like this is what we're having for dinner, like just conversational things. I couldn't get into a deeper level, and I felt like it was starting to impact my relationships with my kids because I was so insistent on only speaking Mandarin, but
Mm.
my Mandarin level is so
Right, right.
elementary. So
Yeah.
I needed to
Yeah.
shift more to English. And I honestly, like, our Mandarin was probably more like Chinglish.
Hmm.
Yeah, Mandarin was not, I didn't,
Right.
yeah. Anyway, I can talk about that later, but I'm not a native Mandarin speaker.
So he's at UCLA right now, which awesome school, one of the best schools in the country. So
Congratulations
you
on,
guys
yeah.
did something right. Is he
Oh,
still like taking classes there? Does he have an Asian side there? Are his friends Asian, or is he kind of
yeah.
blend in with
It's
everybody?
so
How?
funny. We were just talking about this recently. So he has a lot of Asian friends, but he also really, because he went to Berkeley High, and we live in Berkeley, and
Mhm.
Berkeley is there's very diverse community. And I think what he loved and appreciated most about growing up in Berkeley was being able to have friends from so many different backgrounds, that they weren't all just Asian, they weren't all just white. He had friends who were black and brown, and plus playing soccer. He's a competitive soccer player, so that also offered him the opportunity to get to know kids from all different backgrounds because soccer attracts so many different
Right. It's more
socioeconomic
of the
Yeah.
international
families.
sport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's
an international sport.
that's great. It's so funny because
So
when people say d diverse, sometimes I'm just thinking you mean like it's really Asian, but it sounds like it's actually really diverse.
Yeah, Asian in Berkeley is we're actually not a majority in Berkeley. I would
Oh,
say
really?
in
Because the
Berkeley schools
school, I
we're the
feel like
minority.
the Berkeley school is like a majority Asian, isn't it?
No,
It's
no,
not?
Really?
no, I
Oh,
wouldn't
I
say
thought,
so.
oh,
Yeah,
because
for
every time
whatever
I went there, it
reason.
was like a sea of Asians.
Oh, UC Berkeley. Yeah,
UC
UC
Berkeley.
Berkeley. UC Berkeley
Right.
is. Yes,
Oh, but
yes.
his
Okay.
high
But
school was
The high
but
Berkeley
school.
High.
The Berkeley public schools and the community is not predominantly Asian.
That makes
Oh,
But
sense.
yes, UC Berkeley
UC
for sure.
Berkeley, yeah, you walk in that campus, and
yeah.
it's
Yes.
whoa.
Yeah, you're definitely the majority if you're
And,
Asian.
and
Yeah.
Lena, what is your sort of Asian background? So like what in terms of growing up, how did you learn your
Yeah.
language? And then how Asian would you feel you are versus
Yeah.
American?
So I'm the product of Asian immigrants. My parents were both born in China, but were raised in Taiwan.
Hmm.
My dad moved to the US to start graduate school and later on brought my mom. I was born in Louisiana
Ooh,
and
Oh,
Louisiana.
wow.
yeah, I was
Where's
only
the
there for
southern
two
accent?
years.
Okay.
Well, I was only there for 2 years and then I was
Oh, 2 years. Okay.
raised in rural Wisconsin in a
Okay.
Oh,
tiny,
right.
tiny farm
So
town
you're
called
more
Berlin,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I
so
definitely
it
feel
was
more
like rural.
Midwestern.
Then it was
Rural,
like
like
wow.
town of like 5,300 people.
Holy cow.
Very rural. We were definitely the only Asian family within like a 100-mile radius.
Wow.
But my mom, bless my mom, she was felt like it was really important for us to be able to speak Mandarin. So she forced us. At the time, it felt like it
Smart.
was forced.
That's the
She taught
opposite of
us our,
Wayne.
Yeah,
Wayne
my
always talks
parents
oh
did the
about,
yeah,
opposite. They wanted me to fit
yeah,
into America, so they spoke only English. Of course, their
yeah,
English is not even good, so it's just a
yeah.
double whammy, really.
I think my
So
mom knew I was going to get the English from school.
smart,
smart.
And
very smart.
so,
Great
Right.
but
choice.
and interestingly, my mom still taught me Mandarin. She taught me to read and write. She taught me my bopo mofa.
Wow.
Wow.
So she was a tiger mom in many ways. But I think I look back on it and I'm so grateful that she had me doing that. My
Yeah.
dad, I think, was definitely more assimilated. So he spoke a lot more English to us. And even in high school, I think I noticed that I would speak to my mom. I speak to both my parents in Mandarin, but he would speak back in English. I think
Wow.
just
But
because
I
he was
guess you
more
didn't have
familiar.
any friends or so it's only your parents probably that spoke
Yeah,
Chinese. Everybody else you had to
yeah.
be English. But you
See?
I
still
didn't
picked up a
know
lot
I
of
was
Chinese.
Chinese though, because I think one of your previous interviewees, like if you, I didn't know I didn't know I looked different. Like
Huh.
I thought I was white
Huh. Really?
because
Okay.
I was the only Asian kid. It didn't, I knew I spoke a
Didn't hit you.
different language, but like physically, I didn't feel like I looked different
Huh.
until people started making fun of me once I
Hmm.
hit elementary school.
That's yeah.
People definitely
Well,
made fun
they'll
of me,
point
and that's when
out
I was like,
your
oh,
eyes or
That's
your
when you
my
realize.
whatever.
eyes,
They'll make funny, weird
they called
noises.
me flat because they said I had a flat nose and a
Oh,
flat
okay. Yep.
face.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
There you go. So then
but
you
they
start
didn't
to
know.
realize you're different,
Yeah,
at least.
yeah. It was definitely, I mean, at the time I didn't know the word for racism, but it was definitely racism. But it
Yeah,
was also because they didn't know
Yeah.
anyone who was
Yeah.
Asian.
Yeah.
that's true
It's
They
sort
too.
of
thought I
this.
Sometimes
was,
they're not even trying to be mean per se.
no,
Sometimes
Yeah.
they're
yeah.
Yeah.
just,
They
They're
just don't
just
know.
trying to figure things. They just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure my parents experienced racism. They never told me about it, but I'm sure they did.
yeah.
But the other thing my parents did to try to assimilate was they tried to understand American culture through food.
Hmm.
And so I think that's really fed into why I love to eat so much and is
What
they
in what way? Like, did they like buy you a bunch of hamburgers, or did
Yeah,
they start a
exactly.
Chinese restaurant? Or
no, it was the opposite. I mean, my mom subscribed to Better Homes and Gardens and like Betty Crocker,
okay.
had Betty Crocker cookbooks and made an effort to cook American food. But the amazing thing that she did also was she used food to try to reach out to like help people get to know us. So she
Oh.
cooked Chinese food for our neighbors who had probably never had authentic Chinese
They
food
were like,
before.
"What's this egg roll?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
are
so
you rolling
they
this
had an
thing?"
ethnic food festival in Berlin one time over the
Oh
summer, and they
wow.
invited my mom to make egg rolls, fried rice, chow mein, and it created such a stir because all the ethnic food otherwise was like Polish food, German food, like Danish food,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and so she was like definitely the only Chinese booth at the park, and it led to the local grocer contacting my mom and asking if she wanted to
Oh,
offer Chinese cooking
no
classes. So
way.
she started doing it out of her house first. So I remember, she would invite our neighbors
Crazy.
over and she'd teach them how to make chop suey, egg rolls,
But
So
is
it's
wontons.
not
chop
even
suey?
Chinese.
Wait a minute. Is that even Chinese? Yeah.
No, well, at the time, that's what they knew Chinese food to
Yeah,
be.
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah.
That
That's
is
So,
true.
funny.
Hong Kong
yeah,
Well,
fooey, chop suey.
I know
yeah.
you still go back there, right? Didn't you just go back to Wisconsin last year, year
I
before?
don't go often. I just took my youngest son there just to be able to reconnect with my old neighbors and my school
Oh.
and my teachers.
So what's it like? I mean, it's a different world now, I imagine.
It's a different, not a lot has changed,
Oh,
Well,
oh,
actually.
because it's a
they
okay.
must have
I
a
was
Panda
It's so
Express now.
small.
yeah, they might have a Panda,
Come
They
they have
on.
a
do
Panda
have
Express.
they did get a McDonald's.
It's
It
that
is,
small. Wow.
I think there's a Taco Bell now. Definitely that there was nothing, none of that, when I was there. But the town still, there's a Walmart there now too. But in many ways, the town feels the same.
Wow.
It's
Do you
still
think it's
very
because
white.
it's just kind of isolated and on its own,
Yeah,
so it hasn't been able to keep
yeah,
up? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
That's
yeah. And a
amazing.
lot of people leave, and then, some people stay. But
Yeah.
the way my dad assimilated was through like hunting. So he got really good at hunting
Oh
and
wow.
fishing,
That's a
Wow.
golf,
Midwestern thing.
tennis.
He'll fit
Yeah,
right in.
Yeah.
he took on a lot of the activities of the local Wisconsinites.
Wow. So,
Yeah,
this whole thing with cooking is really interesting because I know that is part of your personality as well. Not
yeah,
only, you doing the online cooking stuff like Wayne said, but I know you
yeah,
treat your staff at the Coder School really well
yeah.
with
I
all the,
try.
I mean, how does that, do you think that came from your mom? Is that just part of you? Do you just
I
always feel
think
like I have to
so. I
provide?
think food is a connector. I
Yeah.
think food really, having food at any kind of event really connects people because everyone loves to eat, and food is such a great conversation starter. Um, Interestingly, my mom did not allow me to cook growing up. She did not want me to
Oh, that's
become a
odd.
domestic.
Why is that?
So I wasn't, she didn't want me to be a housewife. She didn't want me to
Oh,
be a
Oh, that's
domestic. So
cool.
she never taught me how to cook or
Wow.
do laundry or sew or dishes. I wanted desperately to cook. I would see things like bubbling on the stove and I would like walk by and like stick in some poultry seasoning or something. Like
wow.
I so wanted to be part of that.
That's so fun.
So
So
my
she
way
was
of
totally Tiger
rebelling,
Mom. She was like, you're gonna
yeah,
go do your math and get a
do your
career,
math,
Get a
go
do your
career,
to
Chinese,
learn
do
your
your organ
Chinese.
lessons. I took
organ
organ
lessons.
lessons in
Organ
Wisconsin,
lessons. Awesome. Organ
organ and
lessons.
piano.
Yeah.
But
Based on just
mhm.
hearing your mom and how she was teaching you Chinese, then I definitely have to contest your second grade level again.
Well,
There's no
so
way.
then
No
so
way.
I moved to California when I was in late middle school. I moved to California,
Mm.
and that really just like opened up. I was like, oh my God, I remember saying to my mom, like, Mom, there's a Chinese person there, and there's a Chinese person.
Right.
And she was like, okay, first of all, like they're not all Chinese. There's like other Asian
You were like
Yeah.
being
races.
racist against your own.
Yeah, I'm like, she's
Yeah.
like, there could be other. And then second, like, yeah, we're in California now. It's different. So
Did
I
you
used to
feel
come
like,
visit California, but I was definitely made fun of for my accent when I came here. I had a Midwestern accent.
oh, wow. Did you
Interesting.
feel like when you first saw all these Asians, did you suddenly feel like you belonged? It was like a new world in that sense? Or is it just like, oh, cool, whatever?
I didn't feel like I belong. I felt like they were people I wanted to get to know because I didn't know them yet.
Ah, okay,
And they didn't
okay.
know me because I'm like a Asian person from Wisconsin. Like it's almost like
Mm,
Right.
being from
yeah.
the Midwest kind of trumped being Asian.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't until high school when I started meeting, I had gotten to know more Asians, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of shared cultural experiences that I don't even
Yeah.
have to explain because
Yeah.
they lived it.
Yeah, I totally went through
Yeah.
that too because I came from Iowa, totally Midwest,
Yeah,
just like Wisconsin.
yeah.
And my high school was super white and my college was a little bit more Asian. But like when I landed in
Okay.
San Francisco and I started going to those parties, I was like, oh my God, this is
Was that
exactly where I
in
belong.
a, oh, you immediately felt the sense of belonging.
Yeah, I was like, where was this all my life? That was kind of more my
Oh,
feeling when I got here.
yeah,
Okay. There's the awe
yeah,
moment. There we go.
There
And
you
we
go.
yeah,
all
There's
just
yeah,
there's it.
hormonally balanced.
yeah.
I
There it
don't know if
Right.
is.
everybody gets
Yeah,
that, but
okay.
Yeah, we'll
Lena
talk
can
about
explain
that.
So
later.
so t
Yeah.
So let's see. So we talked a little bit about the Coder School, but tell us a little bit more about the Coder School and how it relates to some of. So you mentioned you also help kids in what is you're a part-time psychologist for the kids? Is that
Yes,
what
I'm
you
an educational psychologist.
educational
So
psychologist? Yeah.
yeah,
How
so
does
I
how
support
does that
kids.
relate to what
Yeah,
the
I
kids are doing?
support kids who've been identified with learning challenges or who might be neurodivergent, who
Hmm.
might have processing challenges, who have learning disabilities, who maybe have attentional challenges. And so, what that has allowed the Coder School Berkeley to be able to do is to really like welcome in all types of learners. And so, we would take a lot of pride in being able to provide really like personalized support for kids of all like learning backgrounds. So kids who are neurotypical or neuroatypical. We have a lot of families who come in and have said to us like, school is really hard for my kid. I don't know how they're going to do here.
Hmm.
And, because we're able to provide so much attention and because I have background, be able to train my staff on how to teach kids different strategies to use with kids who have attention deficit, for example, or
Is there a
kids who are
strategy
on
that you
the
can talk about?
autism
Something
spectrum. Well, I
that
have this list of 20 research-based strategies.
hmm.
A lot of it is just like, making things visual, like
Hmm.
making lists or drawing things out, having
A lot of
students have the
sense.
opportunity to externalize what they're learning. So, talking about what they just learned, like describing something in their own words can reinforce learning. We talk a lot about ways to like a lot of reviewing and like what we call accessing their prior knowledge. So having kids, reminding kids like, this concept about, if else statements. So there's this concept in Python that's similar to that. So if you can try to help kids map on to what they already know, it'll
Hmm.
help them learn new information more efficiently.
Wow.
It's
And so
just, yeah, these
do
little
you
hacks.
actually are you able to do it sort of hands-on with yourself do it hands-on, or do you actually teach the coaches these concepts and they're
I
able to
teach
take
the
a run?
coaches because I don't teach the kids how to
Yeah.
code because I am not a coder, but it's
Yep.
part of our training. And we try to really talk with our coaches individually about
Speaking of
strategies that
that,
they can
I
use.
have to thank you for sharing and being that kind, generous, always helping others to, teach and work with these kids that need the help. And so it's not just your Berkeley school. You've kindly stepped forward to
Oh,
basically be
yeah.
the chairperson for all of our schools. I know that plenty have reached out to you
Yeah.
and you have
It's
made an
great.
impact because you've not only taught your own coaches, but you're helping our other owners around the
Yeah.
country, and they reach
It's
out to you.
just, it's
Um,
really just trying to bring forth your mission. I mean, your mission is to teach as many kids to code as possible. And so, if there is a way to do it in a way that's efficient, that makes it more accessible to more kids, whether it's offering these learning strategies, whether it's offering, we have families who are going through financial troubles, and so we'll offer them discounts if they need it, or just anything I'm just advancing your mission of
Yeah,
trying to get
no, we
more kids into
definitely
coding.
appreciate that. And
So
interestingly, in the coding field, there is a pretty good percentage of kids that don't learn the exact, standard way and have some
Yeah,
special needs and things like that.
yeah,
Coding
yeah,
seems to attract them, and so
totally.
we're very thankful to have you on board as kind of our guru so that
Oh,
everybody can
thanks.
go
yeah,
to.
so
Yeah,
actually
please use me.
let's have a self-serving topic here about the Coder School. So Lena, you run one of the best schools that we have. I know the answer to this, but what is your answer to like why is that? How did you get your school to be so big? What is it about you and Dave, your husband, that
Yeah,
makes it such a good school?
I think it's just a combination of factors of just having educational background is helpful, but I think I also come from a customer service background too, because I've worked with food and I've worked in restaurants, and I know what good customer service looks and should feel like. And so, and as a psychologist too, you want your client, you want your patient, you want your customer to feel like they're the most important person in your system. And so that's the approach we try to take with our students and our families and our staff, is to really help them feel like they're valued and welcomed. And we want everyone to walk in our doors and feel like they're at a place where they can feel at home.
Yeah.
And so we just want
What
to try to meet them where they're at.
what are some of the cool things you've done for your staff? I know you've made
Oh
them dinner
yeah.
pretty often.
We make, yeah,
Yeah, what
our
else do you
staff
do?
meetings always have food. We rented out a movie theater and
Mm.
had them watch
Awesome.
that
I always wanted
what's
to
that
do
a
that.
fly ant what's that fly Ant-Man?
Ant-Man,
Ant-Man and the
Fly
Wasp.
Man.
Ant-Man
Yeah,
and the Wasp.
yeah.
We've done axe throwing, we've done rock climbing, we've
And nobody
treated
got
them
hurt
to
axe
escape
throwing.
rooms.
Nobody
Yeah, no
got hurt.
liability
No
issues.
injuries.
No,
That could
yeah,
be a
that was fun.
liability. You might want
I
to have
know,
everybody
I know.
sign the
For
waiver.
the upcoming Lunar New Year, we're gonna have everyone over for a hot pot.
Oh, nice.
So we
That
did
sounds
that
like
once
more
before, right
liability.
before COVID.
More liability. Just
Big hot pot of
boiling
food.
water, boiling
Council
water.
and Wayne are like, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear
Dangerous.
that. But yeah, we did that once before, and the coaches still talk about it. We did it right before COVID in
Mm.
2019 and 2020, February 2020. And the
Yeah, wow.
coaches who are still around still talk about that.
Where
So
do
it's
you
like,
do
I
the
think
hot
it's
pot
time
thing? You do it
at my house.
at your house.
See, that's
Yeah.
How many of
different.
those hot pot things do you
So
have?
I'll probably borrow a couple, but we own, I think, two, and then we'll borrow a couple more. We have a couple different
Liability.
tables.
Picturing like
When we
18
built
boiling
when we
pots.
modeled our house, David designed it so that we would have plugs on the floor so
Oh,
we could
wow.
plug in hot
You
pot.
thought about the hot pots when
Hot
you're
pot
modeling. That's
plugs.
Hot
awesome.
pot. Yeah.
Well, that's
Well,
a
the other
special
thing
owner though, to be
that
to invite these guys over and actually
yeah,
spend the time to
it's
them.
food. Like food is such an amazing connector. It really
Yeah.
brings people together, and it's a new experience for people to be able to do something communal.
Yeah.
And I think, David, I've only worked in nonprofits. David's always worked in the for-profit world, and he knows how it feels to be taken care of by your employer.
Mm.
I'm used to like the scrappy, like
Yeah.
nonprofit world and schools where you just like you have like you don't you don't get stuff. But
Right.
he's worked in the for-profit world and he knows how it feels to have like a really well-stocked fridge,
Mm.
a really well-stocked snack pantry,
Yeah.
that's really thoughtfully put together, that looks nice, that, just these little perks that can make your staff feel valued and
Like they're
feel
taken
like
care of. Yeah, and
nourished.
that's
Yeah,
probably why they
nourished.
stick
That's
around. Yeah,
amazing.
nourished. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
And
good
And I'm
then
word.
if you feel nourished, you're a better teacher, you're a better parent.
Yeah, it all starts from you guys and goes into the coaches, and then the coaches are
Yeah,
delivering it to the students and the
that's
parents.
the hope. That's
So it's
always the
all
hope.
circling back. It's definitely
So
Yeah.
working for
do
at
all
least
of your
eight
kids,
years.
yeah, 8 years. Do all of your kids know how to cook? Did you teach them all how to cook?
I've been trying. Didi was my youngest, and he's starting to get into it more now. He's a little bit more impatient, so he likes to like do sandwiches and like easier stuff. But Emmett definitely likes to cook, and Clara too. Yeah,
Okay,
all three kids love to
that's
cook.
great. So I got to ask
Yeah,
the Chinese question. So a lot of us Chinese, we call the youngest kid Didi, right? Youngest boy.
yeah,
When
yeah.
does that go away? Or will you call him Didi for a long time? Or how does that work?
So I have a cousin who's 12 years younger than me, so he's almost 40. He's like a police detective. He's been on the SWAT team and like he works in Southern California. He has been known as DD all his life, and my kids call him DD Jojo. It was Uncle
Didi
DD.
Jojo, really?
So in his case, it
Uncle Little
never went
Brother.
away. He's still DD to our family.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So you're going to keep Didi because I think I just got
In
your
our family and
card.
our close friends, he'll always be DD.
Yeah, I got the Christmas
Yeah.
card and it actually said
Yeah.
Didi. It said
Yeah.
Emmett, Clara, Didi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. His
Oh,
soccer
awesome.
teammates all know him as DD.
Oh, that's so funny. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
His
so
real name is Adam, but
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
he's so
So
much more of
I
a
don't think I've
DD.
ever heard Adam, and I was just wondering, is his like
What is
really
it?
it is Dee and it's just sort of coincidental, but no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam.
No.
Okay.
His real name is Adam.
Yeah. So what is your Asian parenting like? So I guess you use DD, so that's very Asian. But do you
Yeah.
what is your tiger style? How tiger are you?
I
What kind
hope
of
I'm
parent are you
not
feeling?
too. I don't. I think my kids would say I'm not super tigery. The one
Okay.
thing I am tigery about, the one thing is I made sure my kids all took piano lessons. And
Just piano, specifically piano, not
I
violin.
took because we have a piano. I took piano. I played piano for 12 years, and I felt like it's like a really good, solid, basic instrument to learn. It
Yeah.
forces you to read notes, and we have a piano at home, so it was the most practical instrument for them to learn. I made them learn it even when they said they hated it.
Yeah.
My youngest one still takes piano lessons, DD, and he
Adam?
still tells me he hates it every day. But
Yeah.
with my older two, once they started getting busy in high school, and once I felt like they'd reached a certain level of being able to read and sight read music, I let them stop. But I would say my oldest son, Emmett, would say he doesn't regret it. And I think he's actually really happy that he took
I think
piano.
that's the thing. A lot of times the parents force stuff on the
Yeah.
kids. And when we were
Yeah.
young, we're like, we hate this. I don't want to play piano at all.
Yeah.
But now I wish I would have played more piano
Yeah.
when
And
we get
same with the
older.
Mandarin. Like
Yeah,
I did not want to
100%.
learn. I did not want to be different than my friends. I was resentful of my mom making me write Chinese and
Yeah.
read
Yeah.
Chinese. But
Yeah,
my
I was
God,
too.
like look, it helped me so much because now I can pass it on to my kids.
Yeah, actually, that is like I'm totally terrible and I barely speak any Mandarin. I speak Cantonese, but I'm going.
Mhm.
My next White Castle is actually I'm trying to learn how to read and write Mandarin. So I'm on
Oh,
Hello Chinese and all those apps like like every day for at least an hour
that's
just to
so
memorize.
Yeah,
great.
he's got streaks going, the whole thing,
Yeah, totally,
right?
Yay.
man.
Oh,
Totally.
Hansel, good for you.
Yeah, because I
Hansel,
want
that is gonna keep your brain like
to.
so flexible. Like
Because it's
you
very
have
old
to
right
keep doing
now.
that.
I definitely need
No,
something.
no. You're learning Mandarin. You're making it younger.
So you're only slightly tiger with your kids. So how did they get so successful? So I know your oldest got into like all of the use, like wherever he applied, he got into, decided to go to a top school in UCLA. Your middle one, Claire, she sounds like she's kicking butt. She's an editor for the sports paper.
Yeah.
Also all
Yep.
these leadership roles. Is that just natural? Do they see what you and David are doing, or how does it come about?
I mean, maybe through osmosis. I don't
Hmm.
know but we haven't been like, you need to go out for the editorship or you need to like, there's not, I really believe in kids being able to do what they enjoy, except the music. Like that's the one thing I force them to do.
Except the
Yep.
music.
But
You must learn piano for
you
12
must learn
years.
piano. But everything else was really driven by the kids. Otherwise, I think it doesn't feel like it's truly coming from them.
Yeah.
When
I
it
find
comes to
that the
college,
parents that have that answer are the ones that have kids that are doing stuff. And
That's
then I'm like,
right.
I kind of
Yeah.
get that answer and I go, that sounds beautiful, another awe
uh-huh,
moment.
Yeah.
But
But
then
if your
I'm
kids are
like,
yeah.
lazy,
my kids aren't doing crap. So, and then they're like,
I
no, it's driven by the kids. And I'm
You
like,
would be shocked
I
at
don't
how
know,
hands off
man.
I am. I
I
feel
don't know.
like
I'm at a
I'm very
quandary.
clueless sometimes about what my kids
And what
are
about your
learning in
husband? What about
schools.
Dave? Is he also hands off, or is he's cracking
Dave
up
is
in the background?
no, so when it comes to soccer, Dave is super hands-on. Like Dave manages the kids' soccer teams. He's very involved with the kids' high school sports. But when it comes to academics, all I really cared about for my kids was that I wanted them to I wanted them to love reading. So that
Mm,
is
That's
one thing
key.
we keep a lot of in our house is books.
mm,
To like Emmett, to my chagrin, does not read nearly enough as I wish he would. Clara reads. I go to the library all the time. The library was like my refuge growing up in Wisconsin because
mm.
there was a library in town. We lived like, 10 minutes away from the town. So after school, I would walk to the library and I always joke with my kids, like the books were my friends. Library books were my
Yeah.
friends. So I try to really instill a love of reading in my kids. That's really all I care. I just want them to read. I
Wow.
think,
Well, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, like Wayne says, I almost feel like there's got to be a lot of luck involved, right? If you just let your kids go and they happen to be awesome, I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm
that's
thinking. The
huge.
ones that are like hands off, they have awesome kids. They were just born that way.
Yeah,
I think my kids are just who they are. Their kids are kids. Like they're
that's
just going
great.
to be who they are. And it's not to say like, my kids are naughty. My kids do like they're naughty too. They've done naughty things and they're not, but I think with colleges too, there's so much luck involved and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's true.
I
The
don't
whole application
yeah.
process and everything now has
Yeah.
gone a
It's
little
such a
haywire.
crapshoot.
Yeah.
It's such a
I
crapshoot
do
these
agree with
days.
that.
Yeah,
So we talked a
it's
bit
really
earlier
insane.
about what your White Castle might be, and you mentioned to us before the podcast, but do you want to talk a little bit about sort of what your milestone goals are, or you're shooting for?
I just want to, I mean, for me, I wanted to be a parent who could stay as involved in their kids' lives without being overbearing, I hope, but also being able to work at the same time. I love working. I love I love being out in the world and talking to people and working with people. And I really wanted to be the parent who could also cook meals at home and know my kids' friends and have our house be a home where they could invite friends over. So for me, I think my White Castle would be having been able to have that balance. I think having a partner like David is has been the best thing, having
Mm.
my best friend as my partner,
Yeah.
because there's so much teamwork involved. And, you know, him being who he is, like I don't have to worry that like my kids are gonna, you know, they're not gonna miss a meal or like they're not gonna miss a practice or a sporting event or something. Like both of us are both in it. And so I think having that partnership has been really lovely to be able to have that balance of being able to work and be
Yeah.
involved with our kids'
That
lives.
balance is awesome. It's so opposite of what we feel in Silicon Valley all the time, which is like work, work, work,
Mm,
money, money, money. But really
yeah,
the thing that's important is your kids to be able to know you got to know what they're doing. You got to be part of their life. That's
yeah,
why we're parents.
yes,
We're not
yeah,
outsourcing the kids.
I
right.
definitely
And
agree. I
knowing who their
mean,
friends are
yeah,
too.
and I do agree that I mean the most valuable thing is being able to be involved and participate in all
Yeah,
your children's activities. And as I got
yeah,
older and my career shifted, I mean that's the thing
yeah,
I'm most thankful for.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. All right. So let's see. So let's go to the next part of the podcast here. Wayne, do you have an excellent sound effect for us,
Yeah, let's
maybe?
try this out. Let's try this out.
Got it.
Hey! So that
All
is
right.
introing us into the How Asian Are You segment. It's sort of a game show segment. Hansel's
That's
gonna
right.
basically quiz
Otherwise
you.
known as the Haru.
Yeah,
So we
Haru,
are gonna
Haru.
give you our I got three
I'm so
custom questions
curious.
for you.
All right.
These are questions I made up just for you, Lena, knowing how
Okay.
excellently Asian you are. Let's see how well I know you. All right, so three
All
questions,
right.
2 out of 3, and you win whatever prize Wayne decides on the fly.
That's
Yay.
right. So be
Okay.
ready.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1, pop culture question. Um, this one you either know it or you don't. Who
Oh
worked
God.
as an accountant and stock photo model before becoming an actor?
Oh,
Do you know, Wade?
I
Wayne knows off
think
the top of his head. You don't know? You guys don't know?
Wait, accountant and stock photo model.
I'm thinking
Simu
Shang-Chi,
Liu?
dude. Yeah.
Simu
Simu
Liu!
Liu?
Oh
Oh, okay.
yeah. Oh
Wait, what were
yeah.
you
Oh,
thinking, Wayne? You were saying the
I
wrong
was
thing?
thinking Simu.
Oh,
I was
okay.
thinking, yeah. I said
okay.
Shang-Chi to give the
Yeah.
Uh, ah, I thought you said John somebody. I was like, you're totally wrong,
no,
Wayne.
no, Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi.
All right, excellent. 1 for 1. All right. So this next question is related to cooking since you're a master of food.
Okay.
Okay, so we all know what xiaolongbaos are.
Yep.
There's that soup inside the pork dumpling inside the wrapper.
Yep.
Okay, how do you get that soup in the dumpling?
Okay. So I've never done this myself, is you can freeze little cubes of broth, or you can add some gelatin to the broth and freeze
Ding,
it
ding,
and then
ding.
insert it into the meat
Nice.
filling and wrap it.
I knew you would do that one. That's awesome. I
I've
actually
never done it myself before, but in case I ever want to, I think I'll,
Wow,
yeah.
all those cooking classes, you never did the Xiaolongbao.
I'm not good at
Oh.
handy, small, like appetizer making fine motor type
mm,
Yeah.
wrapping things. David,
Well,
on the other hand, is his wontons, his pot stickers are
oh,
dumplings are gorgeously made, but mine
you
are
need to
always
maybe those
they
are
look
things
like they're
that you
made
have
by a
to
2-year-old.
learn when you're a little kid and your mom didn't
Yeah.
allow you to
Yes, exactly. Wayne, that's exactly right.
yeah.
Yes.
So I want to say that I asked Miley, my oldest, this question, and they were like, they use a needle to inject it in? Like, no. I
Bad
don't think
guess, like a
Hey,
syringe?
that,
That's not a bad
that
guess.
is a good answer though.
Yeah.
Creativity. I'll give
Yes.
that's for Miley.
that's for
Miley
Miley.
gets
All
that.
right, Miley gets a point. Even though it's not right, Miley gets a point.
Yeah, that's for Miley. Miley, if you're
Okay. All right.
listening.
Last
I think it
question
would work.
related to coding and Asians. Wayne, you definitely know the answer to this question. All right. This is a multiple choice-ish.
Okay.
Which two of these Asian Americans said that kids should no longer bother learning to code?
Oh, Oh,
Okay.
that dude, that
That dude.
NVIDIA
Let me
dude,
give.
that NVIDIA guy,
Oh, nice.
right?
That's
Woo!
one. So what?
That's
What's his
one.
I was
name?
I was gonna give you the list. Should I give you the list, or can you name the guy without?
Oh, I forgot his name, but you can give me the list.
Okay, Jensen Wang. So you
Yes.
got that one,
You
Jensen
got
Wang.
that one.
So
Yeah.
that is
I noted that one, Hansel, because I was fully prepared to get an onslaught of emails from parents saying,
oh
like,
after
I heard Jen
Yeah,
saying
I
this.
heard
Like, what do you
Jensen
have to say
Wong.
about that? Yeah. So
did they
I have a prepared response in case
did,
they,
did you
yeah,
get an onslaught?
because of that. Not an
Yeah.
onslaught, but I did get a couple
It's
parents
okay.
asking about it.
So for those out there who don't know, so Jensen Wang, CEO of NVIDIA, he actually was talking to a bunch of Stanford kids, I think it was, and he said that because of his AI, I guess,
Yeah.
he doesn't think that kids need to code anymore because by the time we get older, they get older, the AI will take care of it all. Wayne and I completely disagree, but we've
Absolutely.
we've been known to
I
be wrong
disagree.
before.
I disagree too.
All
Yeah.
right, so okay, so the question was, which two of these guys? Do you happen to
Okay.
know a second one? You probably wouldn't know the second one because it wasn't even he didn't even say it publicly.
Okay.
Right.
Oh
So I
God.
will let you guess from this list.
Okay.
So now it's which one of these two? Which one of these two said they would kids should not bother learning to code?
Oh
Um,
God.
Ted Lieu, who is the representative in I think the Santa Monica area,
Southern
I forget,
California. Yep.
Southern California,
Democrat. Mhm.
or Daniel Day Kim.
Oh, the actor. Oh God. I hope not Ted Lieu. I'll say Daniel Day Kim.
It was a
It
trick
was
question.
Ted
It was
Lieu.
Ted
But
Lieu.
because you mentioned Ted Lieu,
No!
you still get it. You said the word Ted Lieu. He
That's
said
right,
that.
because you said the
Oh,
word.
why would he
Yeah.
say
I
I
that?
don't
know
know, but
he's a
that's
CS guy that went to Stanford, and
yeah.
so
I
Wayne, tell
think
the
it was
story.
taken out of context, whatever he
Yeah,
said.
I
I
was
think it,
at one of the I was on spring break actually, and then Hansel I guess didn't care to make it out there, so they were going to have me do a little bit of a talk, and he was also a speaker, and then
This
he
is
goes
this is
on
that this is that House of Code, so the
at
Congressional
the
App
Congressional
Challenge.
App Challenge, where
oh,
he's going to
I
talk to all these
see.
young,
Oh my
kids that can be
God.
influenced and they're to be, inspired. And he was just saying that you are any of you thinking of majoring in CS out there, and you should change your minds.
Oh,
I
And this
was
is
like,
probably all the kids out there because they were there for the
yeah, they were
Congressional App
there.
Challenge.
Yeah. So he
that
basically
is
gave kind of that similar
embarrassing.
message. And I was like,
Oh,
that's
good
very
Lord.
odd.
Yes.
Especially at
Oh
the
my
Congressional
God.
App Challenge where they're all coding to build something
I'll have to
amazing.
write a letter to that guy.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna write a letter to that guy.
Yeah. A lot
I'm
of
gonna
people
figure
had
out
some
who knows
baffled
him and get
looks.
that letter to him. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
That's funny.
embarrassing. Oh,
it was.
Oh well,
yeah.
politicians, what are you going to do?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What do they know?
What do
Yeah,
they
what
know?
did they know?
Exactly.
All right, well,
Exactly.
that is towards the end of the podcast. So we got one last question for you, Lena, that we like to ask everybody is what is a general life tip you would like to give?
Yeah, so Wayne, you referenced earlier, finding a
I
moment of
stole her
awe.
thunder, Wayne.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry.
So
Screwed up.
I'm
We'll
I'm in
edit this out,
Berkeley.
although we don't
Yeah.
edit things.
No, no, it's fine. I'm in Berkeley, and there's a very well-known psychologist and researcher at UC Berkeley named Dr. Docker Keltner. He co-founded the Center for Greater Good. It's a research center at UC Berkeley where they specifically study the area of the psychology of happiness and well-being. And one particular area of research that he's been doing for the past 10 years is on the phenomena of awe, AWE. And it's the idea that there are both physiological and psychological benefits in finding these moments of awe in your life. And so you don't have to just get it from being spiritual or being out in nature. You can actually get it from just listening to music or, um, finding and going for a walk is great too, but just finding opportunities in throughout your day where you can give yourself this moment of like noticing like somebody else's, they call it one category is moral beauty, is finding the moral beauty of other people,
Hmm.
finding opportunities where people are doing things that are full of kindness and compassion that give you goosebumps, that things that stories about people helping other people or connecting with other people or just doing amazing acts of bravery and courage and kindness. It could be what's called collective effervescence, being in a a situation where you're at a sports venue, for example, that feeling when you're all cheering for the same team, or you're at a musical concert where you're all like vibing to the same music,
That's
or
awesome.
all doing like a shared activity, singing together in a choir, for example. That's brought me a lot of joy with this group called Choir. But where you're singing with a group of people, like they find that your heart rates and your hormone levels start to sync up if you're in these shared communal activities. And these benefits can lead to a longer lifespan, a higher like you can boost your immune system that way. You can become just a healthier person in general if you have these moments of awe, AWE. So that would be my life tip, is to try to find these opportunities to notice things outside of yourself, things that just will surprise you, things that bring you
Yeah.
joy and
I
That
surprise.
gotta
is
say,
awesome.
as we get older, it's harder and harder to find the awe. I remember, you guys all remember when your kids are like 6 years old and you take them to
Yeah,
Hawaii or Disneyland, everything is awe, right?
yeah,
Everything's like, oh,
yeah,
look at that beach, look at that sunset.
yeah,
But as you get
yeah.
older, you got to look out for it.
You really have to be more
Yeah.
intentional about looking out for it.
And
So
probably
Yeah.
a daily, I mean, do you do it daily? Like you try to really
I'm
remind yourself?
trying to, I'm like learning more about the research now, and I find I still find awe in cooking. Like to
Mm,
me, the make putting together raw ingredients and making into something edible and delicious, it's like it's like alchemy. It's like
mm,
magical to
Yeah.
me. Still, it's
yeah.
still like I still marvel that that I can cook food that other people can eat, and
Yeah.
that it's like making them healthy and it's like nutritious.
That's
I think
great.
cooking
That's
is
cool.
something that's awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
If you can get
Well,
juice inside of that dumpling, that
Yeah,
is
right.
that's
off. There
right.
you go.
That's
But
awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
collective effervescent. I just
Yes.
wanted to say that because
Yeah.
John,
that's an awe moment for me right
Isn't
there.
that, can't you just kind of imagine what that would feel like? It's just that feeling
Collective
of like
effervescent.
with
Hmm.
strangers, like all around you, all doing the same thing, all enjoying the same experience.
yeah.
It can
Well, I know
really,
I got my all
yeah.
moment. That's just knowing you, Lena, and like the number of things that you're able to do and do them well.
Yeah, we're in
Oh,
awe.
thank you.
That's what says
Thank
Definitely.
it all.
you.
So
Thank
we
you.
definitely appreciate all your time today and being on this
Thanks
podcast.
for
It's a lot
having
of
me.
fun.
This is fun. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Lena.
We are sponsored by none other than theCoderSchool, a company that teaches kids how to code with over 70 locations all around the country. So if you're interested in getting your kids to code, head online and check us out. Learn to code, change the world. Thanks for listening.